Thank you for tuning in to Koppen with Comic. I'm Brian Koppen, and we're here with comic Lauren McGrath. Lauren McGrath, how the hell are you?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Oh, good. It's good to see. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
And if people are in New York City and they're lucky enough to see you do stand-up, where are they going to see you? And then people who just live in some flyover state and city like my hometown of Chicago, Illinois, where can they find you online?
Where can they find me online? Okay, well, I'm on Twitter at McGrath's Wrath. So
McGrath's Wrath.
Yeah, it's my last name and then Wrath. I have Wrath.
Yeah, and then I always think on Facebook, are you Laugh McGrath?
I'm Laugh McGrath.
That
on
is
Facebook.
hilarious. I guess you have to be creative because there might be more than one Lauren McGrath.
Yeah, there is a couple Lauren McGraths, just a basic white Irish girl, you know?
But yeah, nothing but basic. I'm a follower of your Twitter account, and you post hilarity, but also your cats, which I love.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Well, I just got my boyfriend a kitten for Christmas.
Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah.
good. That's just I don't know, Bill Burr has a joke about that. You know, the girlfriend
does-
getting the boyfriend a dog. And it's like, that's not a huge
Oh, yeah.
5 to 10 year commitment that
You've
we don't
given me
need.
a responsibility.
Yeah, did he know about that? Like,
Well-
was he open to getting a pet?
I understand that sounds like a crazy gift, like to give somebody, and but I like to do crazy things. Like I like, I really like. I set out and I was like, I'm gonna give him the best Christmas present ever, and then I was just like, what is that? What is one thing that he's always wanted? And he is obsessed with this specific type of cat, Norwegian forest cat.
Yeah, it's an
Right.
interesting cat.
I always grew up. Like, we grew up with a lot of animals in my house, but they're all shelter animals, adopted.
Yeah.
I never even thought of, like, cats as breeds. You know, it's just a cat. A cat's a cat.
Yeah.
But then
and
I
the
started...
exotic cats, they cost a lot too, right?
Exactly. But you can go on adoptapet.com.
Okay.
And if you wait 6 months, you can find a Norwegian forest cat in Oregon,
Oh my lord.
which is what I did.
and so he was open to having a pet, you know, because this is going to be with him for
we already
five to 10
we already
years.
had a cat
Okay.
together
Okay.
that we adopted when we weren't even dating. We were best friends, and we were like, let's adopt a cat together.
Oh my
then-
lord,
yeah,
those are good friends.
It's very well. Then we were dating.
Yeah, that's the definition of friends with benefits, I think. If you guys
Yeah.
can adopt a cat together, that's the benefit of
And
that friendship, right?
We hoarded him in our college dorm. He was an illegal immigrant there for all of senior year of college. Yeah.
And if people want to, I mean, I don't know if it makes its way into your stand-up, but are any of these type of stories in your act, and where can people see you live in New York City?
Live in New York City. I would say this is terrible. So I've been doing mostly shows in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I'm getting back into the stand-up scene. I kind of stepped back for a while because I just moved to Newark.
Oh, okay.
Because it's more affordable, guys. Pretty close to the city. That's my plug for Newark. It's a great place. It's a great place. It's not that bad. My mom, I'm from
It's not that
I'm from
bad,
Long
that's all.
Island,
Okay.
right? Which is what a horrible place.
But you're used to kind of commuting into the city if you've
Yeah.
done it from the east side. right?
Exactly, yeah. And my mom was like, I'm so scared of you going to Newark, you're going to get shot. And I was like,
That's funny.
I'm just scared that I'm gentrifying the place. You know?
And so Newark is not like, I don't know, Hoboken and Jersey City are easy to get into Manhattan. Is Newark similarly easy?
Yeah, it takes me 45 minutes to an hour, really, which isn't that bad.
And can you bus? Do you take the PATH train?
I take the PATH, yeah.
Okay.
I'm 10 minutes from Newark Penn Station, which is
Okay.
on the PATH.
Oh,
and
good.
then that's just
It's a straight shot.
yeah.
And then, so you're doing are you doing shows in Newark? I mean, or the New Jersey, I don't know, South. It was in North Jersey. I don't even know where the fuck it is. But are
Yeah,
you doing
it's North
shows in
Jersey.
Are you doing shows in New Jersey?
Well, I've done, so I just graduated college.
Oh, cool! Congratulations.
In May, thank
Okay.
you. So I was in Connecticut in college. I went to Quinnipiac.
Okay. That's how you pronounce that.
Yeah, right. Believe me, it does not matter in school. That school is a waste. And also, don't believe the polls. Speaking of which, when we were going to talk about politics,
Yeah.
you know how everyone relies on the Quinnipiac poll?
Yes.
Let me give you an insider look at the Quinnipiac poll, okay?
It's full of shit, right?
It is. It is infamous on campus for being the worst student job you can get.
Oh.
It is the polling center's a little bit off campus. It is so outdated. It is like the computers break down every other day. It's
Oh no.
all old people working there. The kids that are working there doing the calls I was stoned the entire time that I was this is not reliable.
You were a pollster? You were a stone pollster?
A stone pollster.
Dude, this is breaking news. It's so nice to have you on here during this, because I would think that those polls will matter. And now
Everyone's-
you're letting us know that they shouldn't.
That's what I'm trying to say, because everyone was saying that the polls matter so much. And I took political reporting in 2016. I was like in a political reporting class, and it was crazy because like my professor used to work for like he was on all these presidential campaigns, and we would have like CNN and people like come and like interview with the class on video, and
Yeah.
they were all like, yeah, like Hillary's gonna win. Here we are. We had like charts made out. Like the whole semester was dedicated to how like obvious it was.
Yeah.
And then she didn't.
And what did they get wrong? And did the Quinnipiac poll hint at that at all? So, I mean, you're saying that the polls were just, no, Hillary's going to win, even in the Quinnipiac poll.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just, but then like part of our assignments were also to like go into New Haven and just ask people who they were voting for.
Because New Haven is just notoriously
Notorious.
diverse of political opinion, right?
Yeah. So I'm going in, and in 2016, no one wants to tell you who they're voting for.
Yeah.
And if they do, you don't want to talk to them about it.
Right. Right. And so kind of where we're at right now is the Democratic primary. Well, the Quinnipiac poll, like, what is that indicating? What's that hinting at as far as who's going to emerge from the primary on the left?
Well, I think the polls are really. This is just my personal opinion, right? This is just my mind convoluting.
Yeah,
things.
the comic brain, right, with a
Yeah.
background in political reporting at Quinnipiac, right?
Exactly. So I really think that the polls are trying to push more centrist, and that there's more of a. I'm a Bernie girl, right?
Okay. Are there Bernie girls? I knew there were Bernie bros.
There's Bernie girls.
Is your boyfriend a Bernie bro?
He is a Bernie bro. He's
Okay.
a Bernie. Well, not a Bernie
By
bro.
necessity, would you have accepted if he was a Warren bro or something?
Well, yeah. Like I was back and forth. I like Warren and I like Bernie, but Bernie's the one that wants to cancel my student debt. Warren doesn't want to
Yeah.
cancel enough of my student debt. I'm
it's all voting
200,000 deep.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, did you go to graduate school too then?
I did not go to graduate school.
Was Quinnipiac just that expensive?
Yeah. And I had a scholarship and financial aid. The only reason why I went was because, well, I was like 17 and an idiot. This is in my act about student loans. Is a big part of my act.
Yeah. And like Mulaney just did a bit on that where it's like we are not. You can't even give your consent at the age of 17 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we are signing we're signing our name to huge student debt burdens, and we're kids.
My big thing is at 17, you know, I was a pathological liar. My mom was always like, you're at debate practice, and I was smoking pot out of an apple in someone's car, you know, and the government's going to believe me when I say, yeah, I'll pay you back. What?
Yeah.
Why are you believing a 17-year-old?
Yeah. And I mean, I wonder if is it fair to cancel all the student debt? Because I went all the way through law school, and so I also have hundreds of thousands that I'm probably not paying back. But is it fair to somebody to have to, I don't know, like if certain people didn't send their kids to college because of this student debt, is it fair to them for their taxpayer dollars to be used to forgive my debt?
I totally understand that argument, but I think I would just just a socialist at heart, I'm just kind of like, all right, that sucks that you had to go through that, but don't you not want to make other people go through that? Don't you, like, my brother went through law school too, my older brother, he's a lawyer, and it's funny because there's 4 siblings, and like he's a lawyer, the oldest brother, lawyer, and then I'm a comedian. So the parent,
you're the one on the podcast, so I really think you're winning at that.
Oh yeah.
And I guess the argument would be, it will free up, people's income is going towards student loan servicing. They're paying back their student debt, and so they're not able to use their money for the economy.
Well, I just it stops me creatively because I was like, you're forced to work a certain amount of hours to pay back your student loans. Right. You get off of work, you're exhausted. You know, you don't want to go write something or write like your best set. You know what I mean? And I find student loans to be just like these chains. Like really, they just like debilitate you. Especially if you were me, just 17 is just so young to not. I didn't fully grasp the value of money at 17, so I was like, okay, loans, I'll pay it back later, whatever. You know?
And they also sold the lie of, because you were going to be making so much money, this stuff will be easy to pay.
Oh, yeah, no, I went to Quinnipiac because they told me I would graduate with a job.
Oh my God! And all those numbers were totally fucked
lie.
up too. Yeah. And so I think there's probably even a conflict with respect to U.S. News and World Report or all the rankings agencies where they allowed self-reporting for so long, and it's a question why they did. Like, were they getting paid? Like, it's even people who rate debt now, like those self-regulatory organizations like Moody's or Fitch or whatever, they get paid to rate. And so even those mortgage-backed securities that blew up, they got paid to rate them. And if they didn't, they wouldn't make their $25,000 if they wouldn't, wink, wink, I'll give this some sort of debt investment grade or whatever. And so everybody's kind of conflicted. And so, as hilarious as that is, kind of who do you think is going to face Trump, and do you think they have a chance in hell?
Oh, wow, what a question. This is so funny. Someone asking my opinion on this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want the funny opinion. So just back it up with jokes, not facts, right?
All right. Okay. Well, honestly, okay. Even saying the word Biden, I mean, I cringe. I think he's physically decaying in front of us every time he goes up. I don't think Biden will win.
And is Bernie as well?
Well, Bernie's also physically decaying, but I think he's mentally still there. That's my big difference, is that Biden, like, he'll start, he literally does the sundowning, when older people, because my friend's a nurse, and we're always together watching political stuff, and she's like,
what is sundowning?
That's called sundowning.
What is it?
When older people get later in the day, they start to get confused and cranky, and, like, she would be like, oh, he's a number 3 level sundown right now.
And what is Bernie? Because he gets cranky.
He gets cranky, but he's still mentally aware, so it doesn't see me sunning down as, like, a level of not, like, he's still fluid mind. Like, he still knows what he's saying, but he's a cranky guy.
Yeah.
Whereas Joe Biden starts to, lose his thoughts and,
So I almost think, it's almost like I think probably Bernie was cranky back in the 60s or 70s.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just that.
I think he's a cranky guy. But also, like, the number one word people used to describe me is always angry. Like, I'm always yelling. So.
And is that in your comedy? Like, are you trying, do you bring your anger into your comedy set?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So how do you keep that funny? Like, what are some things that you can get angry about that the audience will enjoy, rather than being like, oh, don't talk about politics with anger. We're just trying to have a good time.
Well, okay, so one thing is I went to Catholic school in high school and hated it.
How come? Why? It's so fun to go to Catholic school,
great.
right?
So that was like when I first started into stand-up comedy, I was like, I've got Catholic school as like my jokes. And my first big joke was I was always scared in Catholic school. They didn't teach us sex ed at all. Like, at all. We were just told to abstain. So girls always think they're pregnant even when they haven't had sex. And I constantly thought I was pregnant.
That's funny.
And my friends would be like, Lauren, you can't be pregnant unless you have the next Christ in you. So I would walk around being like, I have the next Christ in me. I have the next Christ in me.
That is so funny.
But
and so what would you think? You're just like, I feel bloated today. I must be pregnant.
Bloated, yeah. And then I would be like, I haven't had my period in a week or so. So I must be. I was always.
That's so
funny. This is a horrible thing, but I was always like, I would panic to my friends and be like, what if someone raped me in my sleep? And they'd be like, no, that's not what happens. And I was like, I don't know. I haven't had it.
Sure.
And then I would tell my friends, this is my big joke, which is bad, but good, which is I'd be like, okay, if I'm pregnant with Christ, what happens?
I love the premise already.
If I abort him? And I got to do a big pause. And it's like, will he come back in 3 days?
Oh, shit. Dude, that's perfect. Like, why is that? I mean, that should just be on every late night show ever. So, how do you bring that a joke? How do you get? I mean, it's almost like all the other material that anybody does would almost pale in comparison with that gem.
Oh, thank you.
Well, no, it's also based in truth. Like, it teaches me something I didn't know, which is that, certain Catholic girls might think, oh, I'm bloated, I might be pregnant.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is kind of genius. Well, your friends are telling you, well, then it would have to be Christ because it was Immaculate Conception or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just love that, okay, well, then what happens if I abort it? That's fucking funny because you had me thinking, this is kind of an existential crisis here. What the hell happens if, somebody birthing the Christ would abort it?
I said, do I have to set up a plan with the doctor that I'm like, in 3 days I'm coming back,
That's great. So how do you bring the rest of your material up to that standard?
Up to that standard.
Which is just a high standard.
That was what I broke out with, that was my main thing.
And your follow-up to that was what? My Lord, that's such a good joke.
Oh, my follow-up is a lot. So Long Island is rife with Blue Lives Matter people.
Okay.
It's everyone from Long Island's either a cop or a teacher or a nurse, right? So everyone's really Blue Lives Matter, and I'm not particularly.
Well, Blue Lives Matter, but it's just so fucking. The reason why it's so fucking stupid is because people are bringing it up in response to Black Lives Matter.
Exactly, they don't understand. Obviously, police's lives matter, but you are not born like with Dave Chappelle. Says, you can take off your police uniform. I cannot take off.
Yeah, I can't take off black.
My skin.
Right,
but I have this joke where I was like, I always see Blue Lives Matter things they love to put into stickers, right? So there'll be like a heart sticker with the flag. And I go, let's look at the flag at first. It's black and white. Not a great first step on the flag, really highlighting the problem here.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if you notice, there's the blue line and it's right above the black line.
Yeah.
Some could say crushing the black line.
And so they have their own flag that's not red, white, and blue?
It's
a blue.
black
I've never
and-
seen a Blue Lives Matter sticker.
You've never seen
No.
the Blue Lives Matter? Oh
I
my
have to
God.
spend more time on Long Island, I guess.
Yes. Well, no. It's a black and white flag, and it has a blue stripe in the middle.
Oh, no.
Right?
And it's blue is above black.
And the blue is above the black. Which
And then
is just,
white is just
I know.
above them all.
So I'm just talking about this from an advertising perspective.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you guys really trying to say here?
Yeah.
So then they put the sticker into different like shapes, and they put it into a heart. And I'm like, okay, well, they put it into a heart because they say, I love the police. Right. And then they put it into a badge sometimes. And I'm like, okay, well, they put it into a badge because they respect the police.
Right.
But then sometimes on Long Island, you'll see it put into a skull.
Oh, my Lord.
And my only conclusion from that is I love when the police kill people.
Oh, yeah, we love to beat skulls with our police baton or something like. Oh my Lord! Yeah, what is there anything worse than the skull? It could just be. Oh my gosh! It could just be like a silhouette of just a famous, the I can't breathe guy.
Exactly.
Just like somebody getting choked out or something. It couldn't be worse.
I'm just like, how do you guys not like see how bad that looks?
Yeah.
Which drives me crazy. But there's also just like hilarious stickers that are like, so like Long Island people wrote them. Like I know when someone from I can tell a person from Long. It doesn't matter where I am in the world. I can spot them, a person from Long Island.
I can spot the writing on the sticker, and now. Have you been doing comedy in Long Island? I mean, I know you're in Newark now, so it's probably doubly difficult. But you probably go home occasionally.
Yeah, but I only ever do. I know that Long Island won't. Well, they could find me. I was.
Yeah, this would be a little bit testy in
exactly.
Long Island.
I always go to New York because I know I have liberal-ish material, but I do have some universal. Like even Long Island people laugh at the abortion joke.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
But the cop one, they won't. They won't
Yeah.
like that. But
And so if people want to see you in New Jersey, or if you start doing comedy in New York City more often, where can they see your dates? So your website, are you LaurenMcGrath.com, or you probably couldn't even get that URL?
I'm not LaurenMcGrath.com.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say check my Twitter,
Right.
McGrath's Wrath.
Yeah.
My Instagram is Laugh McGrath. My Facebook is Laugh McGrath. I'm trying to get as many. Book me on your show. I would love to be booked on your show. Me and my friend are starting. Oh, should I plug now?
Oh, please do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Me and my friend are starting this podcast / web series called Pretty Funny, because we're pretty and we are funny.
Yeah.
And I always get, you're pretty funny for a girl.
I'm pretty and funny because I'm just a funny girl.
I'm just saying I'm pretty and I'm funny.
And so is your co-host as pretty and as funny?
Yes.
Okay. Who is she? Are you allowed to out?
Oh yeah,
her name?
Her name, but it's a great name. Ashley Nally Nagel.
Okay. Oh, I love it.
Right? It's a star name. I always thought she's a personality. She does journalism as well. We were journalists. She doesn't want to be a comedian, but she's just like a personality. Like she'll be a great talk show host. And I also run a publication on Medium, and I'm starting a podcast called Bits by Tits, which is to spotlight underrated female comedians.
Oh my Lord.
There's just not enough there. When I first got into comedy on Twitter, and I found all these women that I thought were like hilarious, like I don't know if you know Ellery Smith or Dana Donnelly, Jenny Hogan, and
some of those people are LA based, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they all were so funny, and they're not getting all this press. That I was like, how are people not giving them press? And then I realized I was like, I can give them press.
Good.
I'll write reviews on them.
Yeah, they're doing well on social, but it would be, especially in New York City, to have additional resources that are covering them more in depth.
Yeah.
Rather than just retweeting a funny Jenny Hogan tweet.
Yeah, it's
You're
actually
also kind of talking about what she's doing in her act.
Exactly. I put a review. She wrote a book,
Yeah.
Toxic Femininity in the Workplace. That was my first like Bits by Tits review. And then there's gonna.
How is Bits by Tits? You're just bringing out this hilarity, like not only your abortion joke, but Bits by Tits. It just makes like, who the fuck didn't come up with this before? I mean, and that's the hallmark of a good comedy
when it's
bit.
so obvious.
It's just like, yeah, and so people are like, yes, I can't believe I haven't heard this before, and I haven't heard either before. And so how is Lauren McGrath taken in social, etc., with the name, but not Bits by Tits? That's just fucking hilarious. So good. And I guess maybe not enough people are covering women in comedy if Bits by Tits wasn't taken, right? Yeah, and I guess that's perfect, because if people had been doing it before now, Bits by Tits would have been taken.
And if you look at just like honestly, just because like as a woman, I have like I had a stand-up video up on YouTube. My YouTube's Lauren McGrath, I think, or it might be Laugh McGrath.
Okay.
I was not ready for the plugs.
Oh yeah, but we'll find McGrath's Wrath and Laugh McGrath
I'll link
on
it
all
to
those
you,
things.
and,
Okay.
Yeah. But on my YouTube, I have one stand-up video up and had one comment on it, and it was this guy that's. Am I allowed to curse on here?
Oh, please do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was like. I want to get it out specifically, but he was like, "Who is this fat slut thinking?" And it was the abortion joke, and he was like, "She is not an entertainer. Her muffin top stretch went really into like my physical, and just like degrade." And his name was like Laugh King.
And he just made it for that purpose to shame you.
Yeah,
probably,
I made it and it's just like you look at all, and I'm not big at all.
No, you're not.
I still get like one, like the only comment is a comment from a man trying to degrade my appearance.
Wow.
So I was like, I've always just experienced like, as a woman, just like appearance being degraded,
Yeah.
I've got big boobs. I've heard the term nice rack more times than
Wow.
which is, I think, a hilarious term.
But I mean, it's just like if your material is that good, you have to believe that his comment was driven by some animus towards the idea
definitely
behind it.
jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was hilarious. And
Yeah,
I was on
and there's
a
other
stage.
jokes. Yeah, I mean, there's like, if you brought a B material joke,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have created the Laugh King account just to say that.
Just to say it, yeah.
And I love
it's
it.
because I struck a nerve.
You struck it. Dude, that joke is so great. And so if people want to find you online, they're going to go to McGrath's Wrath or Laugh McGrath, and they'll be able to find all your upcoming shows.
Yes, I'm going to make a website. I promise. It's on my list.
And in the meantime, check that Twitter account because it's a good follow. Thank you so much, Lauren McGrath.
Thanks for having me.